All right, welcome to, well, I guess you'd call it day 3, but really I only filmed day 2 of it. But we had to change the oil pan gasket on my 2011 Hemi Charger, and I'm about to put the oil pan dipstick back in, and I changed the O-ring on the end of the dipstick tube, which goes in from the top, and you just line it up, and basically this just sleeves right in. That just slides in behind the nut, and you tighten it up. It's pretty easy. And this is the part number. Oh. It's one of these two right here. You can see it. I've got my fans going because it's 100 degrees out here. Put it here, block the wind. These are the part numbers. I went to the dealer to get it. It doesn't come with the oil pan gasket. The oil pan gasket comes with the pickup tube, and here is an old Mopar gasket I had laying around. I actually had replaced a Felpro with a Felpro under warranty, and you'll see, right, these locations here are where you put the RTV. That's where the crease is for the timing chain cover, and back here is where the rear main seal cover, the back plate of the motor, right here. That's where it separates, and then there's a seam right there. Here, there's just the rubber gasket from the timing covers right here. And it went a lot easier than the time before. I did modify the little splash shield enough to where I could get the oil pickup strainer to fit down in there, and I didn't have to hold the pan and assembly up and then in fear losing it, because I kind of had to weigh my options. It's very tight in here, especially on the police Charger, because all of your police cars have this engine oil cooler, and the engine oil cooler has these heater hoses right here, right? And directly behind this is a 13mm bolt that holds the pickup tube with an O-ring up in the oil pump. And it took me about 3 different wrenches, 3 different 13mm. I had one with a crow's foot that was very helpful. You don't get a lot of space. It would be easier if you want. It would probably be easier to drain the antifreeze out, and remove these hoses. That would probably make it a little easier, but not much. And I had everything disconnected. As you can see, pretty clean install. I need to go back and put this where the dipstick tube goes, and the steering rack. I'm gonna make sure I line this up correctly. I didn't mark it. I should have marked this with a pen right where it went. And I'll have to make sure my steering wheel is centered. It's not gonna affect the alignment of the car. It could simply affect the alignment of the steering wheel. So before I lower it down, I gotta make sure everything looks nice and straight, lined up. Make sure it's not like 90 degrees out of the steering wheel. And it was much easier waiting a day, using a giant catch pan overnight, letting every bit of the oil, I'll show you, I put a clean pan under here, letting the water separate and evaporate now. But you can see all the drops of oil that formed. It rained since after I put the pan up, but it caught a lot of oil because I wanted to keep my cardboard dry. And I didn't want to just leave cardboard laying there because it rains every day here now. And it was much easier not having oil drip on me while I was trying to get it up in place. And what I did, this was the only way, making that modification was the only way I could fit everything in. You still have to make everything, put everything, like you still have to hold the pan up while you tighten up the bolt on the oil pan pickup tube. You still have to do that, right? But you're able to tighten that all the way up, make sure it's seated correctly, and then go back and smear your RTV with your finger. I recommend gloves, otherwise it gets all stained, it all gets in your skin and under your nails. So I wore those Harbor Freight latex gloves, and I was able to reach up in there and smear the RTV on the creases where it needed to go, and put a little skin coat on the windage tray itself. And I was able to get all 4 corners, right, on this. And then I was able to start from the middle and work my way out with the 10 millimeters, and I think it's like, I think it was 9 foot-pounds. And I was able to get everything all nice and torqued down, which is pretty much 3-finger snug with a 1/4-inch drive, 1/4-inch ratchet. That's pretty much what that is. This is an aluminum pan with a steel gasket with rubber on it. So it's pretty much something like this is, it's not going to have any kind of flex to it. So pretty much, yeah, you want to be careful. You don't want to over tighten anything. And you have, all you have to do is get these 3 bolts right in the front. Right in the front of the oil pan right there. I like to paint the bolt heads. Last time I did a bunch of work to this thing, I just painted bolt heads and things. And you only have to get the 3 right in the front. You have some that are, say, like 13s that stick out of the front, but that's for the front timing cover. That has nothing to do with the oil pan. And you have the longer ones, the longer bolts on the back. There's 8 bolts on the back, and 4 of them are a little bit longer. Those go through the transmission. The shorter ones go up into the motor. That adds support. Those are the support bolts for the transmission. So the this oil pan is load bearing for the transmission. It does help support it. But it also has its own bolts that go through the oil pan that support the weight of it. So it doesn't have much to do with the sealing properties of the oil pan and gasket. So now we're gonna go back in, get the dipstick installed. I have a better starter that I got from the junkyard. That's my old one, had nothing wrong with it. But I figured almost 13,000 running hours on this car. I'll put a fresh one and the little connector. I cleaned everything really, really well. I recommend when you do this to, yeah, the little clip is going to heat shrink the clip here. It doesn't lock, so it just kind of gravity holds it in. And I thought, you know what, I need to replace this. Police cars always have a lot of heat damage. See, everything just gets just heat soaked, idling so much from the exhaust. Makes everything get kind of brittle, break off. But yeah, this here it's not gonna lock, so it's missing that feature of it. But everything's very clean. I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna tighten my headers where they go to the down pipes, make sure that's nice and snug. And pretty much, I'm just gonna take my time and get all this stuff put back into position. Probably re-grease everything. Oh yeah, right here. Show you something else you might want to consider. You have one of these. These cars are up higher. They ride higher than a normal Dodge Charger, but this was an aftermarket part. It never really held up that well, so I'm gonna flatten this out right here, drill a hole, and put an actual screw with a maybe like an 8mm nut head going right into here. So that way, if you pull up against a parking lot barrier, it's not going to yank the front of the car off. That's a good solution to that problem. I'm going to plastic weld this right here. Go ahead and melt this back together with a little Harbor Freight plastic welder. And you know, I add these little plastic push pin. Like, you know, you just drill the hole and just add a few more. Everything kind of stays together better. But hopefully this will solve my little oil leak issue. And we'll see how it does when it's all back together. Thanks for watching Driving Cheap with Jeff. Please like and subscribe.